How are you?
2,300 residences?
2,300 what?
Residences?
You could use any number you want.
You tell me, what is it?
1,600.
Okay,
The
16.
low-rise ones. And the towers, you could add another 1,600.
So what number should I say? Because it's going to be
Over
recorded.
3,000.
3,000. Okay.
Yeah, and more. And more.
Morning. Yeah?
MC,
Yeah.
what is that email about final account?
Sorry?
The final account. You sent an email just now, Ahmed bin Shamil.
I don't know, I haven't looked at my emails. I've been in board all morning.
What is that?
اهلا اهلا ليه ايه اخبارك كله تمام الحمد لله على الياس ايه اخبارك طيب
Yeah, because I see here after this.
هلا خالد هاي روبرتا how are you اوزوال ايه اخبارك خالد where's اهلين كيف امورك تمام الحمد لله كله تمام فاضل كام يوم يا اهلين ازيك اخبارك عامل ايه فاضل كام يوم
ان شاء الله نفس
25 يوم؟
14 لا لا
25
35 يوم
35 يوم
قاعدين نعدلهم
اوكي هاي مثالي how are you So I'll say a few welcome remarks, but the content is for you guys. The heavy lifting is for you guys. I just pulled the curtain.
you've got to sort of set the scene, and Scott's got some talking points. I think you'll be now the onus is on you.
Said Fuad.
Talk about how many Eiffel Towers and.
Said Fuad.
I didn't remember all those numbers.
Fuad. Fuad Sharaf. فينك؟ بص عليك على طول. وصلوا ايه؟ I just need tissue. Thank you.
And then this afternoon, Elsa here.
Yes. No, that's good, yeah. So Samah, let's start. So you want me to say a few words while I open the... Okay. All right. Will I be heard here? Okay.
احنا نحط السلام السعودي لان عباره عن الصداقه الاماراتيه السعوديه.
In the background.
Yeah.
في الموضوع هيبقى يكون مسجل.
waiting to go
هنعمل
live.
مونتاج
It's gonna be
محترم.
streamed. Right, it's being streamed to everybody's computer, so
Somebody has to let you guys know that it's ready.
All right. We're all here.
واحد كان يبغاها بالاجتماع بس لظروف العمل والالتزامات والماظر اجلت. سوينا له احنا اقتراح من جدول زياره بس مشاركها معنا.
ان شاء الله بالرياض الاجتماع الجاي بالرياض بيكون فرصه جايه. Okay, shall we start? Samah, shall we go? I think my mic is on, yeah? Is it on?
mic on.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I think you guys can hear me. Well, you know, it's almost 400 days for me in Tower 2. And again, not that I'm counting the days, but you know, in any 400-day period, there are tough days, long days, good days, and great days. And today is a great day, not least because we just concluded the last day of the last board meeting of the year. But it's a great day because behind me there's something really special. And we're very fortunate that we have our board with us today, our chairman, Philip, as well as the rest of the directors, Terry, John, please do join us. and Abdullah right here. So we have, of course, the leadership team from properties, the leadership team from SMBU, Khalid, our esteemed country head for Saudi, Qatar, and Bahrain. And it's a great day because we're going to reveal behind the curtain what is arguably the most ambitious and certainly the most exciting project that this company has ever undertaken. Mall of Saudi and the entire development around it. I think when you do sort of step into that room and see the model, you will certainly appreciate the scale and I think the quality of what we are aspiring to deliver and what could be the most exciting city in one of the most exciting parts of the world. So please follow me. I'll then hand over to Scott, who's going to sort of tell us all the great things that we need to learn about this fantastic project. So please join me. Philip, John, Scott, Shireen.
Am I opening the curtain?
So I pulled the... I'll try my best. Scott, over to you, buddy.
So, please come in.
John, after you. Good, good. أيوه مرحبا. زين، كيف أخبارك؟ Hi, how are you? Please come in. Come in. ازيك؟
Sorry.
Oh, it's a big one.
So, welcome everyone. As you can see, the model is quite sizable and very commensurate with the investment required to deliver this project. What you see here is only the shopping mall part of the development. And when we talk about Mall of Saudi, we need to think of it as a total precinct of the North Riyadh precinct, which not only includes the mall that you can see in front of us and the 5-star hotel which is integrated there and the three hotels at the rear, but also the 3,000 residences which will sit beyond this model as well, which will come in part later, which will be part of the model that's displayed in the Riyadh office early next year, but also the school and the mosque that also goes as part of this whole development. As you can see, it's very, very large. To give you a bit of a scale and context, if you were to walk around the perimeter of the mall, it'd be 3.1 kilometres of walking. To walk past every shop front in the 300,000 square metres of retail would be 11 kilometres. So we're really talking about something which we've never done before and on a scale that we've never delivered before. We've just lost the lights. Try again. With anything like this, the model is impressive, but we need to start with the customer. And so when we've looked at developing Mall of Saudi, that is where we've started with every precinct. So whether it be through the hotel and the integration of the hotel with the luxury precinct or with the ski slope, or whether it be the dining precinct, which we'll talk about shortly, the customer has been the focus of how we've resolved each of these issues. So when we start, we normally think of arriving at a mall. You think of any of our assets, the arrival and departure has always been a challenge. So when you look at this asset, you can see the extensive work that has gone into the road infrastructure, the types of bridges that we're here, and how integral and critical those bridges are in terms of delivering people to this mall. If you go back a few years ago, the mall plan was slightly different. And what we've done over the last few years is rebalance the project to make sure that we are servicing those customers as best as possible. So in terms of that arrival sequence with people arriving in our car parks, from either from the east or whether from the north, we've made sure that we are elevating that customer experience and our arrival piece. The other big piece that we need to do differently is how we integrate. We're now moving to more mixed-use types of developments where it's not just about a mall or not just about a hotel or individual components. So if you look at the hotel piece at the frontier, we've been very careful in terms of how that is integrated as a piece, both in terms of the arrival experience, but also how it is integrated into the luxury precinct and into the snow park itself. As you can see, the ski slope is pretty dominant in terms of that arrival piece. For those of you who are at the end of it, you can see there's a great big digital screen connected into the end of it. The arrival and the majority of our people come from that east along Thamama Road, and so this will be a key signature piece in the landscape of the mall, but also allow us to have great presence as you come from the east. Now the great thing about this model, and the reason why I've got an iPad here, is we can go inside.
Wow.
Now, for those of you on this side, you can see a lot more easily, but when we're talking about the experience within the mall, and you look at the learnings that we've taken from Mall of Emirates. Now, when we delivered Ski Dubai, it was revolutionary for its time. So what we said is, how can we evolve that and take that to the next level and provide a better quality product as well? And so when you look at this and you can see into the mall and the connection through there, it's about bringing authentic ski and authentic play to the front so people can see it. We've got the Penguinarium which connects there, and for those of you around this side, you can see a little box that sits in there, that glowing box. That is a bespoke box that we've designed for Apple, which will be a global first as well in terms of that product and bringing retailers to here and giving them a unique product where people will be able to walk through the Apple store and out into the ski slope and experience the cold. Not too different to go to Dubai Mall and you can walk out to the fountain. So this again adds another layer of experience. As you go up the ski slope, you can see a number of chalets, again, making the ski slope more authentic in terms of the arrival and the experience. And those on the other side, on the bottom side, can see the ceiling of the ski slope We can see that we're creating this authentic experience so that regardless of the time of day, you can feel like you're actually in an authentic landscape as you go through there. I'm going to make it go down as well. Where's Khalifa disappeared to? I just wanted to briefly talk about the hotel. Now, when we've looked at this as a precinct, normally we've worked as individual business units and done it in isolation. We've actually done a lot of collaboration, which is very unique, and we've worked very closely, both the SMBU team and the HBU team, to make sure we're delivering a single asset and a single product. And so the integration of the hotel, being a luxury 5-star hotel with the luxury precinct and the ski, has been very integral.
Yeah, so we've been working very closely with shopping malls on the various integrations for the hotel. So very quickly on the hotel, it's 264 rooms with close to about 12% of that in suites. We have 7 F&B outlets. We have large sort of 1,700 square meters spa, dedicated male and female. We have large ballrooms that break down into 2 ballrooms, close to about 15 or 1,600 square meters as well. And the competition for this hotel, from our perspective, is the Four Seasons in Riyadh, the Ritz-Carlton in Riyadh. So that's the ultra luxury sort of the way we are focusing on from a hotel perspective. In addition to the luxury hotel, we have other parcels at the back of the mall as well. So again, 3 or 4 hotels at the back as well, which are going to be planned at a later stage within the next 5 to 7 years. Thank you.
The other key piece of this whole front, which is very unique, is you look at Mall of Emirates, you look at even Deira, we generally don't have a front door to the project. And so what's been very integral in part of this is creating that arrival experience for our customers. We know the Saudi customer is slightly different in terms of how they arrive and the type of clientele. So when we look at this front precinct through here, and you can see the luxury zone here, we've created a very unique arrival experience. We've identified that we have our very, very important customers and how they arrive into a special VIP lounge arrival precinct. We have an upper level arrival here, which allows people to directly go into the luxury precinct. But at the same time, we have a lower concourse, which enables us to have taxi drop-off, driver drop-off, Uber drop-off, and those types of things, to enable that we make sure that everyone can arrive and depart from a front door and a proper experience. So that whole integration piece there and creating that arrival experience elevates that customer experience in terms of people arriving at a precinct, not just arriving through a car park experience. Having said that, we've been very careful in terms of how we curated the experience from arrival from each of the car parks, and you can see the nodes coming out of each of the car parks as well, to make sure that that total live experience as people arrive doesn't start once they've left the car park before they arrive in the car park itself. If we look at the number of precincts through here, we have the luxury precinct, which is located through here. As you can see, the dome over that is very reminiscent of the Central Galleria at Mall of Emirates, and that's something that the shareholder was very keen to do, was do a MOE version 2.0. There's a lot of things that have gone into that to elevate that product through there, and that's where our true luxury precinct and arrival experience is. As we move across the precincts, the next skylight you can see lit up is then the bridge of that luxury, moving across to our central court, which is really the connection to our entertainment precinct through to the ski. And as we go further across to the right, we have our Carrefour and food court. Now, when we've looked at the total asset, of course, food and entertainment and leisure and entertainment is a huge piece of that. And what we've done is make sure that we are providing food offers across our full food pyramid. We have food and luxury offers in part of the luxury precinct. For those of you can see, there's little courtyards even embedded within the luxury precinct to provide an elevated dining experience for that piece. We'll get to the dining precinct, which is on the northern part, very shortly. We have a food hall and we have a food court. And even the food court, for those that can see over near Khalifa as well, is that food court is the next generation, which allows indoor-outdoor dining experience even in a food court environment. So it's taking that elevation and taking it to the next step. Our food hall, we have provision for it. We know the evolution of food is moving very quickly. By the time we deliver this to market, we want to make sure we're delivering the latest and greatest in terms of food evolution, but also what's relevant for Saudi. And so that will be developed in a few years' time as the project is more mature and we can develop the latest and greatest product to there. I might just move around to the rear of the piece, because this is one of our other completely unique selling points for Mall of Saudi, and I invite you guys to come around this side so you can see it. We know from our Saudi customer that they crave greenery, blue sky and water. And so what better way to create a resort-style dining and entertainment precinct which enables them to experience that year-round. And for those of you who can see the images around the wall and those who have historically been part of the project know that we have a massive retractable roof over this precinct that allows us to trade 24/7, 365 days a year. Now, to put that in perspective, this retractable roof is the size of 24 tennis courts. Hasn't been done anywhere else. Normally you see this in stadium design, you normally see it in those types of big infrastructure pieces. But if I can get this iPad to wake up again, you can see, we'll get this open. You can see that the full roof retracts back over the whole dining experience. And within there, we have a plethora of food offers, which enables us to create an experience where we have cinemas located at this end through here. We have a multitude of restaurants, a separate arrival and experience to the dining precinct. We then have other entertainment usages to the end here. But something that's very different again to what we've done in other projects is we've opened the asset up to the outside world. So rather than being inwardly facing and not opening ourselves and connecting to the external community, it's something, a learning that we've taken out of Al Zahir, where again we developed the mall and we built a car park and then did the residential behind. This has completely taken that away, moved all the car parking to the side so that this precinct is directly connected into the commercial precinct and then into the residential precinct behind. Just lost the lights again. So you can see that integration is extremely important. And when you're talking about people wanting to go for dining and entertainment experiences, we need to change the mindset of people thinking they're going to a mall. And so the best way of doing that is creating that arrival experience again and how we do that. So again, this precinct has its own sense of arrival, its own valet, its own departure, so that you can go and have this experience, be connected to a mall, but also have an individual experience as you go there. As Khalifa mentioned, we've got hotels across the back here, and again, commercial and some residential back out through here. But you can see as a whole precinct, what we've started to do is to break it down into zones that reflect what the customer is after in this market, but at the same time giving us flexibility to adapt it as we go. So as much as this is big as it is, this project is future-proof to go from 300,000 to 400,000 square metres. And so historically, when we develop these projects, we're not thinking about the next stage, and we just build it. What we've done very carefully here is this model actually is quite reflective, that if you look across the roof here, there's not a lot of plant rooms. There's not a lot of stuff sitting on there as if you look across the road and see what's on the top of Dira. So this has been future-proofed to now another whole level to integrate across the top of this to take this to the next level when the asset is ready. So that again is very unique in terms of the approach that we've taken to making sure that this asset is future-proofed, not just for when we open the asset, but further on as well. I think that sort of gives you guys a pretty good overview of where the project is. Happy to open it up to questions or anything from the floor. Or
Thank you.
no? Is there any questions or any?
Yes, when will it be open?
At the moment, we're targeting 2023-24 in terms of getting the luxury open. Whole of project more likely around 24-25. Obviously, the big piece is now is to get the tenants interested and involved, and that's the big push over the next 6 months is to go out and test all the luxury tenants and test all the key tenants for each of the precincts and make that happen. It's a bit like the town halls, isn't it? No one asking any questions. Now I feel like now I know what you like for you. Yeah. Look, I probably think the other things didn't touch on is obviously 10,000 cars, which again is well above beyond what we've ever delivered for any project. We know that the customer is obviously much more car bound in this, so we've made sure that we are cognizant of that. Again, touching back on the hotel, lessons learnt, you'll notice that it's single loaded so that all the rooms face away from the rooftop so that we make sure that we're creating the best experience for the customers of the hotel. And again, 600 plus tenancies, this is going to be a massive, massive effort. I can see Panita over there nodding. I don't think we've ever tackled a project before where we have to deliver 600 tenancies in pretty much one go. So there's a lot of challenges around all of this. In terms of workforce, it's going to take 20,000 people, 4 years to build this. So that's a lot of people, a lot of time. Again, just so you, as I said, the scale of this from one end to the other is over a kilometre. So just the mall itself and what we're doing, this is a major shift from anything that we've done in the past. If you think of Mall of Emirates, which is our largest asset, that was delivered over a number of phases. It wasn't one go. So this in its own right is incredibly large.
Any public transport integration or future-proofing?
Yeah, absolutely. Good point. So there's bus stops located around different portions of the mall. As I said, there's different points in terms of where we've got dedicated rideshare, whether it be Uber, Careem, those types of pieces. What we've also done is integrated, there's a basement car park that sits underneath all of this. And what we've done at each of the lift lobbies, each of those lobbies that come up into the mall, there is then drop-off points as well. So, you know, if you're wanting to go to a certain precinct and you're dropped off by a driver at a certain point, you can meet at gate 13 and you'll be able to pick up there because there's the dedicated drop-off spaces there. So, yes, all of that has been integrated both on the north side and the southern side to make sure that we can get people as easily in and as easily out.
How about sustainability? Because a project of this size should be environmentally friendly as much as possible.
Yeah, look, sustainability is embedded in what we're doing. It's a given anyway, so we'll be doing everything as part of our sustainability initiatives. Lights turn off automatically, even in the model. But even things like this external dining precinct, the way that it's been set up is that even when it's hot and the roofs do retract and we have the dappled light, which you can see on through here, it's passively conditioned. So we're not going for the 21 degrees in that zone. So we are being aware of how we work through these precincts. Obviously, with something this big sitting in Saudi, you can see in terms of how it's been designed, there's very few spaces which have direct glazing. So only the key precincts like the luxury precinct and the parallel mall to that have direct daylight. Everything else has been done by filtered daylight so that we reduce heat loads and those types of things. So it's all been taken into account as we go through it, because absolutely it's all part of our sustainability initiatives across the whole of business.
Any destination, like for example, every tourist that comes to Dubai needs to go see the fountain. Any destination that needs to draw people to this mall?
Look, any destination, I think there's multiple destinations. Obviously this dining precinct, I've worked on shopping malls across the world, there is nothing like this. When this gets delivered with a retractable roof the way it is, there is nothing like that. It'll be an experience in its own right. For those who can see inside and you can see the images, it's like a resort. You know, it's very different in that resort. The ski itself is then the next evolution. We've been working closely with the Ventures guys. You know, we're going to have penguins swimming against the glass as you're standing in the mall, you know. Yeah, so you're going to see the penguins swimming. You've got direct access to the penguinarium space, both within the mall and also as a visitor. The ski itself, as you've seen when the roof is open, I'll get it open again. There's nothing in your foresight, so you can see kids playing straight away, that sort of stuff. Then with all the different malls, the luxury precinct will be a precinct which has never been delivered like that before in terms of the quantum of luxury within this region and in that context. So there's a number of different pieces within there, and of course, obviously, you know, even simple things like the Apple Box. You know, people go to Dubai Mall to go to the Apple Box and go out on that terrace. This will be a unique thing in its own right. So there'll be different things in there, and obviously we'll be working with the retailers to make sure that the product they deliver here will be their global best practice in terms of what they're delivering. So, yeah. Yeah, good point, Ahmed. The other point is the department store located at the end through here. That will be then an evolution, as most of you are aware, launching the youth concept at Mall of Emirates in the first quarter of next year. This is an LTP, which is an internal brand. Shireen, happy for you to jump in if there's a microphone over there to explain what that is. That was one of Shireen's babies before she left that behind. But again, it'll be a department store that anchors that precinct, which is a homegrown product again, which we will be working through over the next couple of years, which will be curated to make sure it is embedded in what we're doing and not just another item which is placed at the end of the mall as an anchor. So there'll be a lot of work that is done between us and the retail team to make sure we're delivering a unique global product again at that part of the mall.
Are you planning to have helipads?
Helipads, that's a good question. We haven't considered it yet. It was something that was raised recently. It's something that we should be considering. Luckily, we've got no plant rooms on the roof, so we've got plenty of space where we might be able to do it. But yes, it's something that we should be considering with the type of clientele we might be getting at the mall. Any other questions? Sorry? Cost of the project is 8 billion for the mall component. That doesn't include the communities and the other hotel pieces.
Which currency?
Oh, which currency? Saudi Riyal, dirham, same thing, pretty much. So 8 billion, yeah. Yeah. Any other questions? No? Yeah, wrap it up.
I think if there are no other questions, thank you everyone for coming. This model, this is the permanent home for the model. We'll have another version housed in our offices in Saudi Arabia and Riyadh. And obviously this will be part of our big push starting January with some of the retail partners and key brands that we want to bring into Mall of Saudi and Saudi for the first time in many instances. So this is a great showcase of what we'll hopefully be delivering in Saudi Arabia. So please feel free to drop by here, showcase it to friends and family. And I think before we move, it would be great if we can take one photo together as a team.
Sure.
And I will have to insist on the directors from my board to join me for the photo, please. If you could, and then we can have. Philip, please.
Oh no, you. Guess there's no saying no now.
Well, there's the photographic evidence.
Sorry.
Nice job. هل نقرب شوي؟
Yeah. Shuffle across.
In the frame.
Thank you.
Thank you.
But you can't allow me for one selfie?
Something that nobody knows about. How many followers do you have on Snapchat?
100,000.
So if you want to be seen by 100,000 people, make sure you come and join.
I like the 2023 bit. Can you open this key for me, please?
Yeah, I'm trying to get the app.
It's a video, it's a short video.
It's a great day to launch Mall of Saudi. Congratulations.